on it because I went back and I was like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Because in an emergency, you take the stairs because the elevators are dangerous, right?
Yeah, that was our plan until Locke was like, hey, cut that out. We're not doing that.
Locke did not say to not. Locke 100% did not say to
She
cut
didn't
it
literally
out.
say that. However, she was like, yeah, what
She
I was
concerned.
The way that it came across, because this is even me not being in the situation and just like listening to it happen. The way that it came across was very much of the like, if we are sure that this maintenance shaft is a way to get up, we need to go a different route down because they're not going to block off the way up.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of like, either you go down the elevator, they might notice that you went down the elevator and all come pouring down the elevator, so then you can run to the maintenance shaft.
Yeah, that's how I understood it too.
Yeah.
Well, then that's on me, I guess, because that is not at all what I was trying to convey. So, like, hold on, where's the building? Where's the schematic?
Hi, Sailor.
Hi, Sailor.
Let me go here. I'm gonna turn on the lights.
Whiny boy.
Gonna do one of these.
Ow, Sailor, not now.
But he loves you, eh?
Because even with like all of this, with you clarifying that, my preference is let's try and avoid people because none of us are social characters.
I guess that's fair.
That's just my vote.
And the one, I think the only character that has something in her back pocket in an oh shit situation can no longer communicate with you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I have like 2 talents that are very specifically of like, I'm not a social character. I need an oh shit social thing. I can spend a point.
You have building, like, elevator, and this is your secret stairwell. So Locke was saying only if these are the only 2 ways down. Or are basically like, are these the only 2 ways down? Should we do something about securing them? I will throw it to you all. There's a weird bit of communication and a weird misunderstanding that caused a like situation that I did not understand entirely, but I tried to go with it. Do you want to retcon it or just go with what you have now and be like, fuck it, we're gonna do the fake elevator thing and go back that way and then go down that way?
Fuck, I don't even care anymore, man.
Okay, well, someone make a decision. I threw it to you guys.
Stairwell.
What is the stairwell? Like, go down the stairwell and you guys decided no elevator?
Yeah, no elevator because honestly, again, I don't want to have to deal with people if we don't have to. Or there's less likelihood, I should say. I don't want to say no.
Mm-hmm. And earlier in the scene, Guy did have the schematics out and was looking at them, so Locke could have looked at it then.
Well, she didn't.
Okay.
So, we will go with we will say that you guys had decided, like, you were going to do the whole fake out thing, and then partway through that, Lockhart was like, we should avoid people, and the elevators are going to be more crammed with people.
Let's go.
Okay.
Nice.
We also retcon the Sprite bloody shit?
Yes. Yeah, all of that. That is totally fine. So, good? We square?
Thumbs up.
So you guys are heading down the maintenance shaft, at which point, Kaya, you got gifted with a drone feed, and you saw the dude who was dressed like a Halloween store Joseph Diego, who got gunned down by a killer unit, a canine unit. And you all will make it to the next lower floor, which I need to find. Is it this one?
I will say that Sprite just tossing themselves into Marcus's arms did amuse me greatly.
That can still be, yeah, that's still canon. It's like that all happened, and then it was like, this is stupid. Why do we just go down the elevator shaft?
Kaya, whose idea was going down the shaft the whole fucking time, is like, thank fucking God.
Not an elevator shaft, maintenance shaft.
Maintenance shaft, yeah.
Elevator shaft would be even more ridiculous.
Why the fuck? Yeah.
So
maybe on a emergency way up, because the elevator will stop moving because people have left.
Yes, at some point, all of the people from the lower floors will fully evacuate, and it will be just you all. Lockhart, you would know that, like, in general, on the subfloors here, there's not gonna be a heck of a lot of people. Easily, like maybe 90 to 100 max. Not a lot of people spread out over 3 floors. And that's like on a very busy day. Most people who work in these lower floors oscillate between working here and working at the experimental lab in Turing. So on most days, you could expect maybe like 60 people spread out over 3 floors.
Okay.
So yeah, and these floors are the size of the building. Like they stretch the full length and possibly slightly further out because it's a sub basement area. But it wouldn't take too long if people are flocking to the elevators to get out. But yeah, you're running down the maintenance shaft here, and are you going straight to the lowest floor, or are you stopping at the second floor?
I don't think there was anything we needed at the second floor. I guess go to the third.
Okay. Then you guys will all get to the third floor. And the maintenance shaft, I want to turn this up a little bit. And the maintenance shaft, like, once you actually get to the basement area of the third floor, the maintenance shaft, like, at that point is so subsumed with cabling and tubing and whatever. It feels like honestly, it feels like this is like a fire hazard. This does not seem like safe and intelligent design. This seems like cheap and just put it in here design meant to minimize expenses for stuff like that. And you just hope that nothing goes wrong. And so far, nothing has. But now you are at the lowest basement level. And Lockhart, you have never been down here. But looking at the schematic, and having a more there are sparse details, like the actual map or the actual schematics don't dictate a lot of detail. There's enough detail to know like the size of the floor, which the third one, the lowest subfloor, is much smaller than the upper two. Like if you were to compare each floor, it would be like the first sub level is like a football field or 2 football fields. The second subfloor is only slightly smaller, like maybe 1 3/4 football fields in size. And then the third floor, the lowest sublevel, is like less than half of a football field. It's drastically smaller.
Very tiny. Okay.
Oh, hello, listener. But yeah, you guys make it to the lowest level. You get this hallway that exits out. There's not, compared to the floor you were just on, there isn't like a sort of atrium with labs that you can see, the doors that you can walk around and like look into almost. This seems much more dungeony, for lack of a better word. It's very much this like long steel corridor with separate steel doors that section off. There's no windows. There's no, like, normally on some laboratory doors or office doors, there's the little like rectangular window that you can poke your head in. Or not poke your head in, but like look through and peek and see what's in there.
The old-fashioned school prison doors.
Yeah, there are not any sort of visual way to peek through these doors. And as you are walking around, you don't need to roll for this. As you can all tell, there's no visible security cameras. Normally, security cameras in the building they're not hidden, but you can spot them because they have to be in a spot that has a good view of everything. But they're meant to be almost meant to be seen. Like you're supposed to feel at least a little bit watched. And there's none on this floor. It is just, it almost feels like no one, you're down here, you're off the grid almost.
Which means grab everything, because I can't get to it.
But that also means there might be more physical security rather than electronic. So
yes.
Yeah. So I assume Lockhart's taking the lead here. So she's doing kind of like the peek behind hallways kind of thing. Move forward.
Mm-hmm. Walking forward, are you going about this like stealthily, or are you still kind of like, describe to me how you're trying to move as a group? And like the NPCs will follow your lead for Kaya and Lockhart. Like you don't have to worry about like ordering them and whatever. They'll just follow your lead.
I definitely think for at least the first bit, because I don't know if they're like, if the hallways turn, or you know what I mean, or if it's just one straight long hallway.
As best you can tell, it's like a square.
Okay.
It's like you walk out and then it has a pitched 90-degree turn and then another pitched 90-degree turn. Like it goes around.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I assume for the first bit she'd be a bit more like stealthy, peek behind the hallways, see if there's anything, listen for anything. But as they go on, if literally there's nothing there, I mean, she'd walk a bit more with purpose, a bit more quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Kaya's following Lockhart's lead on this because she's.
This is her job.
Yeah, it's just kind of just following Lockhart around, making sure the group, whatever issues they run into, that Kaya fixes said issues rather than leading anything.
Okay. If so, I will say as you're going. Hold on. I need a sheet so I can know what skills exist in this game. Oh, it reset the actor sheets. Oh god, I really hope it didn't reset all of your character sheets. There was an update to this system, so I am praying that it didn't break anything.
Doesn't look like there was on mine.
Thank God.
Nope. I just had to open it up again a couple times to get my talents visible.
Yeah.
Yeah, my talents still aren't populating really easily, but that's why I'm still working on my notebook. I have everything written down. I just am writing down the actual talents.
As long as you know what to roll and what you can do, that is totally fair, because this is not a well-supported system. What did you say, Iris?
It is.
Iris?
I see the green light. We do not hear you.
You can't hear me?
There we go.
Now we
Well,
can.
again.
Oh, okay. I was saying that my headset died for a second there, so I
Oh, gotcha.
it turns off randomly for some reason, and it's not just because it's dying either.
That's not good.
This. So you are walking down this corridor, trying to keep your eyes peeled. You both can roll me vigilance rolls.
Add the blues.
Everybody or just Locke?
Lockhart and Kaya,
Okay.
the PCs.
Okay. Okay. And add 1 blue?
2.
2 blue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, do. What the fuck does that do?
An advantage and a triumph?
Yeah. No, since I failed.
Why is it? Is it at 2 purple?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I like to always, if you have a triumph and you fail, turn the triumph into a success. That is just me.
So the thing is I think it automatically counts the triumph as 1 success because there was 1 success, 1 triumph, and 2 failures, which seems like.
I still, that's like I count it as a success because the triumph is very clearly, even if it's counting for a success in the math, bigger than just a success. It's still listed as a separate thing.
But I guess for the sake of simplicity, I will count a single triumph as 2 successes. So that it will, if there is ever an exact number, like triumph and failure, it would be flat out even. So this will count as, I will count that as a success for both of you, and you each get a triumph as well. So.
Can I just throw one thing out?
Sure.
Yeah, tell me to fuck off if I'm overstepping. Generally the advice I have heard when you're counting the triumph as a success is if you're having to count it to make the entire check a success, you lose the benefits beyond that a triumph would usually give you. So it's like you either get the really good shit of having a real success and a triumph, or you get just a straight success by using the triumph that you have.
Okay. So in that case, Kaya would have gotten a success with an advantage, and Lockhart would have gotten success, 2 successes, 2 advantage, and 1 triumph. Okay. But in that case, you're both walking through this corridor, trying to keep, like, there's no one you see or hear moving around. It just seems to be very quiet. There's like the cables and environmental noise, like the low hum of technology and like air in like ventilation systems and all that kind of just drone noise. Not like robot drone, but like dull droning noise. But there doesn't seem to be like people noise. Like you can't hear conversation or like any sort of sound like footsteps on floor, except for the ones that are around you in your immediate area with your, with the party you're in. But Lockhart, as you and Kaya are walking along, you notice something on the walls here. And like the walls themselves, like you can kind of see it here. Maybe this little drawing. You can kind of see it here on these like these crevices in the wall, you can see that these like creases, they line up. The art here is not accurate, but it's fine. Imagine like this crease going up like that, up in the wall. They are built like that all the way down, and each one is it goes from the floor to the ceiling. The pattern, like, it's noticeable, but the thing that's noticeable about it, and that the only thing you're really able to parse, is it wasn't like that in the other hallway on the first floor. So there's basically like there's something weird about the walls here. Like maybe they slide or move or raise or lower.
It's some sort of paneling kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are there other doors in any of these hallways?
Yeah, there's a door. From what you can tell and what you saw on the schematic, there are 8 doors. All of them are equally spread out on each side of the square that is this floor. Like, there would be the hallway you're coming in. It basically makes the floor look like a big 6 or a big 9, because you have the outside part of the box and then the hallway.
Okay.
So it'd have it look like that, or a big 6, however you want to rotate it. But there are 2 doors on each side here.
I think what you're looking for is a D.
I was gonna say a B, a backwards B, but yeah.
You don't have to rotate anything if it's a D.
It's actually the musical flat symbol.
I hate you.
And the thing to note about the doors is there is a door on opposite
either
sides.
side.
So
Yeah,
there's an inside door, and there is what I guess would be the outer door. Oops.
I'm going to assume no, but I'm going to ask anyways. There's no, like, nameplates or anything at each door, correct?
Correct. It's unmarked. Every last one of them.
Did the schematic show which room the archives were based in?
The archives are on the 2nd floor.
Oh, the 2nd floor. Okay.
Yes. The schematics here, like, the schematics show this being basically like a 3x3 grid, where you have a room here, or not a 3x3 grid. It makes it look to be like literally just disjointed rooms. Like, each of these has a small interior room, and then each of these outside ones has a larger like room. So there'd be one here, and there'd be a small one here.
I kind of want to check out one of these rooms, like right here.
One of the interior rooms.
Yeah, I want to check out one of the interior rooms first.
And you don't have to, like, you don't have to use this as the perfect map, but like if you wanted to pick a room close to the stairs or a room far from the stairs.
Even. That's why I chose over here.
Okay.
Halfway between.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you guys would come down from this way. And I should say, like, the emergency, not emergency, oh my god, maintenance. The maintenance shaft would be in this direction, but the elevator is also right here. It would be like they all have to walk towards this part of the hall. But if you were to go to what is basically this room, all of the doors here, they don't have standard like like a lever handle or a knob. They have a key card swipe.
Exactly.
There's nothing for you to like grab onto. But if you use Ben Getty's old ID, you can walk up to it and swipe it, and the door will whisk open.
I do so.
Yeah. So in this room, when you walk over to it and swipe it, the door that is there, it recedes sideways into the wall, like classic sci-fi, like airlock style. And inside, it's dark until the door opens. Like there's that brief pause where it's pitch black, and then you hear the of the lights turn on. On the inside, this is a very it's a very deep room vertically. So this is a top-down slice of everything, right? When you walk in, this looks a lot like the stairwell in the robot, the OSI building you went to, Lockhart. This room has a series of what look to be pods. It's like a white pod with an opaque glass cover over top of it, and there are rows of them. The room is like about 10 feet high, but it goes down, like way down. And there is a stairwell in this room that goes around and around and around, revealing more and more and more of these glass pods. You can see the bottom. Like if you were to like peer over the edge of the stairs and look down, you can see that there's like maybe about 100 feet down. So it's a deep, deep room, and these pods are in there. They're probably about 12 feet from the base of this pod to the ceiling. And they look Man, I really should just... I should stream like paint. Is there digital paint so I can just draw more sketches?
You just need to make yourself a blackboard scene.
Yeah.
Good. Let me do... Whoops. So, you have like... They look kind of like this.
Mass Effect bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And I will throw this into... Oh, fuck. I got the B flat wrong. But this is like...
Just say it's a lowercase d, please.
Yeah. The southwest interior room. And these are rows of like 5 to 6, and they go down in like a... It almost looks like well, it is a storage space for these types of pods. But aside from these pods, there's like a little space to the side where there's a computer and a desk. That is... The computer itself it's not like a normal desktop. This is like an embedded supercomputer that is like part of the wall. And the desk in front of it has a keyboard and like mouse and interface to use the actual computer. But that computer is dedicated to these things. But there's no paper or any sort of documentation that you can see.
Lockhart is going to head over to one of the pods and kind of look to Marcus and be like, "Can you go through that?" Pointing towards the computers, and kind of tossing him the key card in case he needs it.
He like follows you in and is just kind of looking around. He just goes, what? Oh, yeah. I can give it a look." He's like looking at the pods and then looks over to Sprite, who just kind of shrugs, and he'll run over to the computer and swipe the card and start to access it. He's gonna do, he like, it has like a normal computer interface as far as you can tell. The screen is big, so you can like easily screen peek as he is doing stuff. But while he is investigating, is there anything that either of you want to do in that brief amount of time?
Lockhart's going to look at the pods themselves.
Mm-hmm.
She'll leave the text to the techies, and interact with the things she can physically.
Mm-hmm.
Interact in quotation marks.
Look at it. Maybe open it if possible. Question mark.
I will say there's no like handle, but it doesn't take like a degree to figure out like this is supposed to open. You don't see the hinges per se, or if it's supposed to slide open or like open like a door. But this definitely is a container of some kind that can be opened. It's probably the container can probably be opened from the computer because there's no hand way that you can see to do it. But there is a crease that you can see if you wanted to try to pry it open.
No, I mean if it's meant to be opened by the computers, that's fine. But are there any like windows or any gaps into any of the pods?
Yeah, the front of the pod is like I said opaque. I should say nearly opaque. Like the glass on the front, like that whole sheer surface. It is just like a window, basically, like a big glass window. But when you from a distance looking at it, it looks like a bleach white piece of glass. But when you get closer, you can tell that it's very, very intensely fogged. And you want to go peek?
Yeah, white pea.
I will get to you, Kaya. What are you doing while Marcus is typing and Lockhart is poking around?
I mean, the only thing in here are the pods.
The pods and the computer.
I don't really know what else there is to do here.
Engineer check.
You could investigate the pods with Lockhart. You would have probably more of an idea of what to glean from it than Lockhart. But I will tell you for sure, none of this infrastructure is at all detailed in the schematics.
Okay.
This entire room, like the dimensions and the size, just looking at it and looking at the schematic that you have, the schematic details that there is a room here, and it is supposed to be effectively like 30 by 30 by 30, like just a box, but that is very much wrong or a lie. Like this was built surreptitiously or falsely reported, or maybe public documentation is like, or even remotely public documentation was forged to kind of hide this room.
Okay, cool. Guy's making a note of that in the fucking schematics. It's like, write this shit down. Pretty sure this violates a lot of codes, actually.
It super does. It
violates so many codes.
This at the very least, this is like a huge zoning violation, because like this goes way out of the. You don't even have to bust out like pen and paper. This goes exceedingly outside of the zones this is like allotted for.
Not to mention the safety of what's above it, compromising the structural integrity of the streets above it. So this is so violating so many zoning laws and safety regulations. She's just scribbling all this down, updating the fucking schematics of this shit. But she'll go over and help Lockhart with this fucking thing. But she's just muttering just about fucking zoning laws. I mean, yeah, what this fucking does to this structural integrity of the fucking station? What the fuck do you think they're fucking doing?
So you like walk over to
Triggered
go
legal.
ahead.
It's just triggered the legal Kaya. Kaya has two
Like-
triggers. It's OSHA and it's legal.
This
for a construction worker, like if you were constructed to build something and you found out post job you'd violated a bunch of laws, they're gonna fucking come after you, not the company. Of course, they never come after the company.
No, never. You should know better. It's like you fucking. God, I gotta fucking call up everyone that was on this fucking job.
So like you're like buttering that as you walk over toward Lockhart. Lockhart, you walk up and like rub on the glass, and there is no question. You rub on the glass, and on the inside is nothing. You want to check another pod?
Sure, might as well. I mean, if there's nothing, there's nothing.
How many are you going to check? Because like, I'll
like
tell you
4 of
right
them.
now.
Just
4 of
check
them?
like 4 of them. Yeah.
Are you checking 4 of them in a row, or are you going down the spiral?
We'll go down the spiral. Like check. How many like quote unquote floors of pods are there?
5.
I'll do 1 each floor. How about that?
1 each floor. Okay.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
like I said, it's not like it's an annoying like stair climb because you have to run around the stairs to go to to get to the next lower set of pods. But the whole area is like an open atrium, so if you were at the bottom
She can
floor,
vault
you
it.
could shout. But you're gonna jump over the edge and fall 100 feet. Or if you get close to the end and you're just like, fuck it, you throw yourself over and jump like 10 feet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
She's not gonna jump from the fucking top.
Are you gonna do a free runner like rapid descent thing where you're jumping from rail to rail?
She doesn't need to do that. It's just
Picked
trying to
up
be
some
quick about
bullshit
this.
from Legacy.
What happened to your patience, Lockhart?
She's just trying to be quick about this. We don't know who's gonna come after him.
Yeah. So I will say, Locke has posted up at the door and has done the very obvious thing of like shoulders to the back side of it. So if someone opens, they won't see her, but she will know where they are. Sprite is hanging out near Marcus, like overlooking his shoulder. And you are both going. Are you both going down the spiral? Or are you following Kaya?
Yeah, I imagine she was almost catching up to Lockhart, but then Lockhart fucking jumps the rails like, what the? Whatever.
So
More time to fucking update schematics while she continues following Lockhart.
More muttering, stomp, stomp, stomp down the stairs.
Yeah.
Big ass work boots.
Kaya, you've worked. So I will throw this to you. What kind of what is the most like eccentric kind of construction work that Kaya has done?
Define eccentric.
Like
Bullshit or
like building
extreme?
an apartment, like building an apartment complex, even like a super complex where it's like 200 floors high, or like working on a satellite or working on the solar dishes. I would rate those as being like pretty eccentric, but I mean something like, has Kaya ever been contracted to build an experimentation space for like a college campus? Like they needed like a sanitized laboratory for some type of experimentation. Has Kaya done anything like that, or probably not? Or has she been consulted for anything like that?
I feel like she was, but it was more like they tried to contract someone else and they didn't want it. And so it got like dropped onto Kai. Like, yeah, no, she's smart. She did the college shit. Go to her. Probably because they needed very specific requirements. And if you need it to be sanitized, I feel like Kaya was the most willing to just go the extra mile and make sure it's all up to code and it's all actually sanitized. So I feel like her colleagues always just threw all the really tedious and hard jobs at her because they knew she
Mhm.
would do it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So as you're walking down, roll me. You can roll me a science check at 3 purple.
Okie doke.
Oh, that's so. Wait, is that 1, 2, 3, 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, with the triumph, this would count as a 1, 2, 3, 4. That would count as a flat success because if it breaks even, then correct me if I'm wrong, Z, if I'm reading that right, because I see success, success, triumph, then 4 failures. But if I count that triumph as 2 successes, it would break even and count it as a flat normal success, right? Or am I doing the math wrong? Z, I need my rules lawyer.
Second. I was muted. I was just talking at you for the past like 2 or 3 minutes. I was like, why is nobody responding?
Oh,
I was making jokes and shit.
oh.
It depends on how you want to rule anything that comes out even. You can count a no success, no failure as having kind of like you passed the like 10 on the d20. Or you can say that nothing happened. That is up to you as the DM, because it would end up equaling out to essentially just having 2 advantages.
Okay.
So that
So
is very much a DM decision.
I will say you can't learn anything in passing, but like looking at these pods, there's not something about it that's familiar, but it looks like it's advanced technology. If you like really wanted to try and learn something about it, you could walk up and give it a really close look. And I will give you a blue on that if you were to closely examine one.
Okay, well, if it's familiar, she probably will.
Mm-hmm. Are you gonna stop next to Lockhart to examine the one that she's looking at, or are you going to like deviate on the way down and just look at one of the ones in the middle?
Probably catches her attention when she's not caught up to Lockhart yet, so she'd probably deviate, just go to the closest one then.
Mm-hmm. So this is going to happen concurrently. Lockhart, you check a random one on the middle level, the level below that, and then the level below that. So you're checking every level of these. Roll me a percentile die, Lockhart. I'm going to need 2 percentile die rolls.
Okay.
Here's how Joe throws in some COC rules.
So D100.
Uh-huh.
1. Okay.
Bruh. You're
D1.
losing cock.
The hell?
21. Okay. So on 100, you like look through the second one. Again, nothing. On a 21, you look through on the third floor down. Roll me another D percentile. $19. So you like Kaya, as you're following, you're like looking at the schematic, you're making notes, putting the actual dimensions of this down and how they differ. And as you're doing that, you look up and see one of the pods. The pods, like, they all look pretty uniform. And there's nothing about them that like immediately you recognize about the design. You're just kind of like tilting your head and curious about it. So you walk over to examine one. Lockhart, you on the 3rd floor, just before the very bottom floor, you walk over to just a random pod. one of the several that are posted up on the wall. And you kind of, it's a big pod, so you kind of have to like reach, but you're tall, so you reach over and wipe with your hand. It's really fogged up, so you put your hand on it and warm the glass a little bit and wipe even harder. And as you do, you look inside, and there's someone in this one. And it's a little hazy, but you immediately recognize that face. On the inside of this pod is Ben Getty. He is inside that pod, stark naked, like blue-skinned from cold. And you can see like the eyes are closed, and the hair isn't there. It is completely like no hair on top, no eyebrows. There's no facial hair of any kind, but you recognize that face for sure. It is Ben Getty. Kaya, if you go to examine one, you can roll me a science check again at 3 purple, but you also get a blue.
Okay.
Damn.
Jesus.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah, no fucking kidding. So Kaya,
What the fuck? You screenshot this.
That is one of the best rolls you could have ever gotten on all of those dice without a triumph. But you walk up and like look at this pod a little bit more closely, and you recall one of the jobs you got about a year or two post college that you didn't like at the time. It's just a job, right? It's not like you did anything exceptional. But you remember that you were contracted out for one of the colleges in Foundation Ward University. They have a cryogenics program, which is a burgeoning field that has not been completely worked yet. And they wanted a like medium-sized piece of technology built, and they had somehow heard about you through the grapevine as a result of your multiple doctorates and like actual science knowledge, and they reached out to you or to the company that you worked for to ask you to help them build this piece of technology. It was not nearly this big. Cryogenics right now are used predominantly for organ storage, like long-term organ storage. In the same way that like cloning is used to reproduce body parts and organs, cryogenics is used to preserve them. There is, as far as you're aware, no cryogenics breakthrough in such a way that you could freeze a whole person and bring them back. Like, you know, the freeze for 1,000 years and rethaw them in the future or something, and they would be alive. No, it's literally like a hyper cold meat storage thing. At least as far as you know. And this looks like one of those, except instead of being about the size of like 2 grocery carts, this is about the size of like 2 sedans stacked on top of each other. And you figure that out as Lockhart. You discover that there is a Ben Getty thing on the inside of that pod. And just as you figure that out, you hear from the desk where Marcus and Sprite are, very awkwardly, just, I think I'm in. I just used the credentials on the card, but it looks like this whole thing is like a storage bay or something. There's no notes in here. It's just serial numbers and dates.
How many of them are filled?
He scrolls down and you can see like every pod is listed on there. There are pod numbers on the sides of the pod. And he, like Sprite is looking over his shoulder and he starts to say something and he's like, it's like, and then Sprite runs over to the edge of the rail and shouts over the rail, It's like 7, 6, 6. Yeah, 6.
Why the fuck do they need so many fucking cryogenic shit?
Lockhart is gonna go over to Kaya and a little forcefully drag her over to the Ben Getty clone. This is why.
Kaya does not fight getting dragged. But this is like, I imagine she was still trying to update the fucking schematics and just like, why the fuck do they have this? It's yoinked. It's like, okay, you could have just asked, but okay. And just sees this and is just speechless for a second.
Lockhart grabbed Kaya kind of by the forearm. It's a little tighter than needed, but you know, it's not trying to hurt Kaya or anything. But Lockhart's jaw is set.
Oh, fuck. And they said, like, what, 6 or 7 of these?
6 of them.
6 of them?
Just so you have oh, I'm not here. Let me mute.
You, Sprite, like, runs back over. You can hear the footsteps, like, their footsteps as they run across the floor and then run back over. And they rattle off not serial numbers, the, like, pod numbers. So if you wanted to look for at each pod, you could.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Check. Are they all Ben Gettys? Are there some Diegos?
There are 2 on this floor and 4 on the bottom floor. So you run over to the other one on this floor, I assume, and wipe that one down to see who's in it.
Mm-hmm.
You run over and wipe it down, and inside of this one is another Ben Getty. It looks identical to the one in the other pod.
Serious question here. Are they both short?
The pod, you can't, if you were to like wipe down all of the glass, you could probably approximate that they are the same height, and they are short.
Okay.
These aren't tall Getty ones.
No, they are not.
Let's head down to the bottom floor.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So go ahead, and one of you, unless you're doing both at the same, unless both of you are doing a different one at the same time, if you're going to the same one or different ones, roll me a D100 for whomever is wiping the glass.
Want to go to different ones, Amy?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, roll me them duo 100s. A 2 and a 77. So on a 77, you wipe down the glass, you get another Ben Getty, like the 2 you had found before. On a 2, you wipe down the glass and you see it. A person who looks like Ben Getty, but they're different. There's differences. This Ben Getty is distinctly different in that they are taller. Their neck is slightly longer. They have a little bit more gangliness to their frame. There's still no hair. Everything else is the same, except that this Ben Getty is slightly taller and longer in their proportions. Not unnaturally so. It's weird because Ben Getty is a short dude, and this is like a Ben Getty who would be easily 6'2".
Does this look like tall Getty?
More or less, yes. It looks actually slightly taller than. Correct me. Hold on. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tall Getty is the Ben Getty you saw in the house, in the picture.
Picture.
Yeah.
Picture, yeah.
It looks
Yeah.
like him. It looks
Yeah, okay.
It looks like him if you cut the hair and eyebrows out.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I was like,
That's just
wait, Tallgetty's not Jonathan, because Jonathan is short.
No,
I'm
no,
pretty
no,
sure
no.
he's pretty short, right?
Yeah, no. Jonathan
It's-
is not Tallgetty.
Tallgetty, and it
Mhm.
actually is canonically Tallgetty because
Yeah, we
that's the
call him-
picture that like Legacy showed to Bingetty at the bar, and then Kaya's opened her mouth is like Tallgetty.
Yeah, it's canonically Tallgetty.
Yeah, so this one is the Tallgetty.
I
Not
gotta
small Getty.
stop laughing so I can have Kaya call him Tallgetty with a straight face. Okay. She sees it, and I mean, her and Locke are on the same floor, right? Yeah, they're both on the bottom floor.
Yeah.
And ooh, can't fucking call out Locke anymore now, can I? Fucking.
You can. Oh my god, please do.
You know what? Sure. Yeah. Guy is distracted, not thinking. Made a discovery. Hey, Locke, what you got over there?
Another clone.
You hear footsteps and like you feel the look of someone over the rail. And they don't say anything, but if you were to look up at the noise, you could see Locke looking over like a raised eyebrow, but it is like a hard stare of like, who the fuck?
Oh, looks up.
Why are you calling me?
Kaya's like, huh, fuck, wasn't. Okay, cool. Don't need you for a second. What'd you say, Krim?
Turn. Like the fuck? There's another clone here.
Cool, because I just found a Tallgetty.
Frown, but moves over and sees Tallgetty.
Yeah. Guys gonna look for the other fucking pods. Fucking. There's two
Okay.
more.
Roll me a D100. Only one of you.
You can do the honors if you'd like.
If you're sure.
You'd like rolling the dices.
I do like rolling the dices. Maybe I'll get a 1. Oh, I hoped.
A 39. So Kaya, you run over to grab another pod, and Lockhart goes to the last one. Kaya, you wipe down the glass on your pod. I'm assuming that is what you did, right?
Yeah.
You each went to the last two.
Yeah.
Okay. So Kaya, you wipe down your pod. And when you wipe it down, on the inside, you see what looks to be like. Actually, oh, there's no saves in this game. Huh? Would you look at that? There's no sanity checks or saves of any kind. So Kaya, you wipe down the glass, and on the inside of this, there's no Bengetti face. Instead, you are greeted with something a bit more horrifying. You wipe down the glass, and underneath it, you see what looks to be a person without any sort of skin, like a muscle-framed, like teeth exposed and eyes wide open, frozen muscle skeletal thing. And you will take 2 strain from like witnessing that.
Oof. Yikes.
And Locke, you wipe down the last pod, and on the inside of it, you see what looks to be a sort of Bengetti. You wipe it down, and it is mostly Bengeti, the shape of the face, but there's hair. It's not the correct length and like quote unquote shape. Like Bengeti's hair has a very distinct sort of messy hair shape, and this hair has a different like texture and shape to it. It's a bit shorter and a bit more like a bit thicker, and it looks a tinge more like dark yellow as opposed to light yellow. It's hard to tell if that's because of the temperature, but more stark than that is the head. There are no eyes. It is like a whole face. There's no gore. It's just this person, the body on the inside of this does not have eyes, and they are missing part of their chest and torso, like literally scooped out and paved over with smooth skin. They're missing their arm, a left arm, and it's very strange. It is like a mannequin almost. There is a surrealness to the kind of horror you're seeing where, like, normally to see a person in this shape, you would expect there to be blood. Like, there are parts that are just, like, erased off of them. But there's no gore, there's no blood, there's no stitches. It's like they were grown and fitted into this shape. And you will also take 2 strain as you see this horrifying image. And the only way that you know that this is Bengeti is by the sheer shape of like the brow line and jaw and nose. Like, you recognize that as Bengeti's face, but it's like, it is literally missing parts. And this is not tall Getty. This is short Getty. Normal Getty.
I'm calling those clone Gettys in my notes.
Yes.
Can I interject?
Yes.
This is another you can tell me to fuck off, Joe.
Uh-huh.
The horror section of Genesys does provide fear rules.
Ooh.
It is a discipline check. And there's a table, like in the PDF, like 243 is the page, I think. Has a table for like how hard the check is, and then effects of fear should you fail them. And there's also rules for sanity as well.
Oh.
Just throwing that out there.
I will say, if you want to roll discipline, you may roll discipline at 4 purple, each of you.
Jesus.
Can I choose to fail?
Yeah, can I?
You can, absolutely.
Like,
I don't want to fail, but I feel like there's no fucking point.
yeah.
But I'm gonna roll anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I think for Lockhart, there's a decent chance for her to succeed, but like, this is her friend
Mm-hmm.
in a fucking horrifying state. I think it would affect her. Period.
I will say, if you choose to fail, I will leave it at just the 2 strain. If you wanted to roll it, it would be worse if you failed, like, depending on how catastrophic the failure is.
I want
let me
worse.
open up.
Let's go for worse.
Say that
You said
after I
4?
roll. Fucking
Yes.
whatever. I see how it is.
So, yeah, because like we're not in combat, so like being dazed or stunned or anything like that won't really apply. But there is this, you will take 1 extra strain from this image, because like this image, this like Silent Hill-esque, like tortured mannequin version of Bengeti, like you can see how this would cleanly map like the features and hair and like missing parts. Like, you know what this Bengeti looks like when he's whole, and it like rocks your brain to see that person in this sort of pulled apart or missing pieces kind of way. And it's not, and there's no Frankenstein style stitches or like signs of surgery. It's like they were just like those bits and pieces were just unexisted almost. It is bizarre.
Lockhart stared at that for like a good 3 to 5 seconds before kind of stepping away to a corner, putting her hand on the wall and like leaning against it. She feels very nauseous. Trying to clear that sight from her head. She's this is really fucked with her.
From the top of the stair rail, or the top of the stairs up at the starting floor, you hear, "So what's going on down there? Is it cool? Did you find like, I don't know, a frozen dude?"
Well, coming back up. Give us a sec. Like, Kaya kind of feels sick to her stomach. Quick question for you.
Mm-hmm.
So, did Kaya... Was it Lockhart that got the extra strain damage, or was that both of them?
Just Lockhart.
Okay.
Because Lockhart rolled a threat.
Okay. Well, could I use the advantages to recover strain, or is that not a thing in this moment?
Not on this check.
Okay.
Let me see.
I mean, it's fine if not. I just figured, hey,
Yeah.
might as well try, you know?
That's fair. Not on this check. Sorry.
So, fucking, this guy's gonna go to Lockhart. It's like, come on, we gotta go.
Lockhart takes a deep breath, nods her head, and turns to Kaya. She's trying to act normal, but she's very clearly shaken.
Okay, well, we can just wait here a minute. I don't mind taking another fucking breather too, though. I found something not pretty too. I'm guessing you did too, so...
Let's not stay on this floor.
I don't want to be here either, so... Let's take our time going up. And probably burn the fucking place down.
That would be preferred.
So fucking take the time going up, try to collect herself, because, man, feeling queasy as fuck from seeing that.
Okay, so I want to do a quick smash cut to Legacy while you guys are having your clone escapades. Legacy, you are currently doing some hacking stuff, yes?
Yes.
If I remember correctly, you got a backdoor access into the archive?
Yes. Got a backdoor access into the archive for level 1 and 2. And had grabbed the control node for the security so that she could pass along the it's not droid. Drone.
The little drone. It's basically a droid.
Before when she was done with that, she's going back out because she does not know that these people are going down to the 3rd floor. So she's just going to make her way down progressively until she hits the bottom of what she can hit. So she's backing out and trying to hop to the next intersection of programs that she can get to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So if you want to, and you feel free to correct me on this, if you want to go ahead and make your break ice check.
Looking. Could open my sheet again, that would be useful. Okay. Build this dice pool. So what would my next level's difficulty be?
It's going to be a 2 purple to break the ice. And let me see, because this is still level, no, this is level 2, because you're in the archive.
Mm-hmm.
Level 2 is it Great Wall?
Amy,
Yes.
can you be a friend and remind me what the 2 words I had again were?
Yeah, you have battering ram and femme fatale.
Thank you.
I'm gonna put it in the
Yes.
general chat for you.
This is you are trying the ice you are trying to break is a barrier ice, and it is called Great Wall.
Okay. And you said it was 2 purple?
Yes, it is 2 purple.
Okay, automatically add that to this. Characters. Cured up. I will use. Fuck it, why not? I'll use the distinctive style and get some extra bonuses here. Okay, that'll cancel. Well, that's a triumph.
Holy shit.
2 successes, an advantage, and a triumph. 1 success, an advantage, and a triumph. Plus works it around back to 3 successes and a triumph.
3 successes and a triumph. Okay. And the icebreaker you are using is, what is it again?
I believe so. So I could just fucking bulldoze my way through some of the heavier hitting walls.
Mm-hmm. Yes, you can, with battering ram and 3 successes and a triumph, you can bulldoze through and get access to the level 1 lights and temperature control for the lower security level.
Okay. So is there only lights and temperature control on the next level?
There's the security system, which is below that.
Okay.
The network architecture is pretty much like there's like 3 levels. There's the like surface level access to like files and documents that are stored that aren't classified yet, and then there's basic like environmental controls, and then there's secret data and security.
But I was just like wondering, because like for level, when I got access to level 1, I got level 1 and 2 archive data. So is it only like 1 prong for level 2 rather than 2?
So for each of these. Yes, yeah, it is only one prong for levels 2 and 3.
Okay. So she's got lights and temperature control. She's gonna do the same shit she's been doing across the board, yanking lights.
On the next level, all the lights go down. Are you messing with the temperature at all, or just the lights?
Just the lights, because she doesn't have a reason to fuck with the temperature right now.
Mm-hmm.
She might do that if she makes her way back up to the penthouse.
Okay.
Be as inconvenient as possible to Joseph.
Mm-hmm. Do you mean me or Jonathan?
Both.
All right. Then go, if you are going into the security system, go ahead and make me another. Well, first, you will act. If you try to access it, you would run into the ice. When you try to access it and run into the ice for the second level, you would, rather than be met with a barrier, you are met with a more active defensive measure. This is an archer ice, which is weaker, but if you fail the check, you will take damage to your program.
Okay, does this count as a sentry?
Yes, it is a sentry.
Hey, that's why I got Femme Fatale. Once per encounter, when a runner attempts to break a piece of ice while Femme Fatale is active, the runner may spend 1 story point to succeed without making a check. Once per encounter, a runner attempts to break a piece of ice with Femme Fatale is active, the GM may spend 1 story point to add extra disadvantage to it. Add extra failure. I think that's that symbol.
Mm-hmm.
I have an override strength of 4 with my Femme Fatale against sentries. Archer is 5.
5.
So I have to do good here. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What is my purples here?
It's going to be 3 purple.
Okay. This is why I wrote down my hacking shit first. How much strain do I have right now? Sorry, give me 1 second. Double checking what I think I'm going to do here. And is there an extra level of security beyond this?
Not for the second floor.
Okay. So I'm
gonna shrink these fucking boxes so I can make more room on this page.
Choose a piece of ice, whatever. Okay, I'm just gonna activate my distinctive style again, I think. Come on. Ooh, I like. That cancels out, that cancels out. That'll cancel out. To leave me with 5 successes.
Ooh.
On top of my
That's pretty good.
4 strength. Femme Fatale.
Did you get any disadvantages?
I got 2 disadvantages that were canceled out by advantages.
Gotcha.
I got 2. It ended up being 2 disadvantages that were canceled out and 1 threat that was canceled out.
Ah.
Or one failure that was canceled out, sorry.
Gotcha.
I'm still getting used to the symbols on this dice.
Mm-hmm. I'm making room because there's a lot of hacking.
Mm-hmm.
Do one of these, do one of those. You will have access to the level 1 security system, which after accessing it, you would learn that the security system is access, or the security system for the first sublevel is also the security system for the second level. They tie together. Oops. So you have access to those two security system levels. The security system has when you access it, you cannot command them. They're autonomous, but you can shut them off. And right now they are turned off. The alarm has not sounded, but there are a bunch of combat drones in the lower levels. Do you know anything about Attack on Titan?
Yes.
You remember the bit where you see the Titans in the walls and everyone goes, "Oh my God, why are there Titans in the walls?"
Yes.
Once you access the security system, you get like an array of information that floods your brain, and you are able to like visualize the Tetsuo Tower, the HQ. On the lower levels, the entirety of the first and second sub-basements are lined with security drones. They're not the K9 units, they're smaller. Think of them as like B-12 battle droids. Mm-hmm. They are person-sized units that are not armed with guns. They are armed with tasers. And they're robot strong, right? But there are, like, without getting an exact number, easily 40 to 50 of these units stored in the walls around everywhere and on the interior walls as well. They're in like broom closet storage folded up so that they don't take up much space.
Said I can't control them, but can I see where they are linked up?
Yes.
Can I try to break the links?
Describe to me breaking the links.
As in physically how it happens, or what I am trying to do?
Like what you're trying to do.
So like if these are, if I can see the links to some sort of control that I just don't have access to, can I like try to break and corrode that connection so that if I can't control them, nobody can? Or at least it puts a very significant, it makes it very difficult or cumbersome to try and get back to them.
As of right now, what you can do is, like, they are set to like a dormant state, and they will stay in that dormant state as long as the alarm does not go off for the lower levels. And you have access to the alarm switch.
Can I break
If
the
you
alarm
want
switch?
to? Yes, I was going to say, if you want to try to break the alarm switch, you can try to do that with another ice break attempt. This one is going to be with, where is it? Yes, this is with a code gate ice.
Oh shit, I don't have anything for code gate up and running. Wait,
Yes.
Quick question. If it's okay, I don't know why, I'm just getting a little antsy here. I'm gonna use my session ability.
Okay.
Just gonna take that.
You
That's all.
bastard.
That's all.
Fucking I waited too long. I should have used both of them. Damn it.
So it'd be, how many purple would it be for this?
It's going to be 3 purple.
3 purple, okay. I don't have corroder up, and that's what I got the fucking custom code for. Okay. Okay, here we go. I would say before Legacy does this, when she has that, like, oh shit moment. Why are there so many battle droids here? Fucking drones here.
Mm-hmm.
She, rather than going to Kaya's phone, there would have been the ping to Lockhart's phone. Probably when they were still on their way down the maintenance shaft. With just, like, probably part nonsense because she's trying to do it fast. But what you would assume to be locations and the model unit of, or the model type of the combat drone. And it's just, like, every space in the text is, like, it's probably like 3 texts worth of information all of a sudden. Just like bullet point, like 50.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's her passing on information the only way that she knows how to right now. And if she fucks it up, then the one that will have to punch the robots knows where the robots are.
Okay. You send that message. It doesn't get to Lockhart, but it gets to a Lock, which she just looks at the phone and reads over it and is just. You get a single. Well, thanks.
That's I don't like that result.
Wait, so just to double check, Valerie has both Lockhart's comms and her phone. Is that correct?
No, it was just the comms. Lockhart has the phone.
Oh, I misunderstood. Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. Then disregard the thanks thing.
I mean,
I got
Lockhart probably write the same shit. Let's be real.
She would.
Fair.
So in all of the grand math of this,
Uh-huh.
it brings me to 2 successes.
2 successes.
Yes.
And what is the strength of the icebreaker you're using?
I'm going to have to swap out one of my icebreakers, unfortunately. Let me look at my shit. This is a code gate. Which ones do I have that work against code gates? Barriers, sentry. One that works against code gates. Let's hope this works. I'll swap out Femme Fatale for Gordian's Blade.
Gordian's Blade? What the fuck is that?
It's said to have been developed by an open source by a team of runners in less than 3 hours. They invented an appropriately simple program that uses a logic resolution engine to overcome most code gates by slicing through the complex mathematical puzzles employed by sysops by overwhelming. So
that's a cool name. Holy shit.
It has a strength of 3. And I can spend, because this did not copy over in my copy paste. Where's Gordian's Blade? I cannot spend anything to make it stronger, so it only has 3 strength. I have to have 2 advantages to make it stronger.
So your total strength is 2 successes plus 3 from your icebreaker for a total of 5.
Yes.
5's not gonna do it. You needed a 6 to break it.
Hold on.
Do you have a thing?
I might.
You best pray you have a thing, because failing this one's gonna hurt.
Jesus. Yes.
Not physically, emotionally. Just to be clear.
No, I have to have succeeded to. Well, depend on if you would allow me, because I did succeed last time.
Mm-hmm.
I have the burn through ability. So after making a successful break ice action, I can suffer 3 strain to use this talent, and I can perform a second override. So if I can spend perhaps even more strain.
Go for it.
Retroactively, how many strain are you making me spend?
It's normally 3 strain to activate this and use it.
Yes, in the instant that you succeed. So this would be a retroactive.
I will say you can spend. Let me see how much strain. I'll say if you spend 5 strain, I will let you attempt this as a reroll. Not double the cost, but a good bit of strain.
Well, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
I have strain to spare right now.
Strain for days. And I imagine this, you using this is less of you accessing a program and more of you doing that thing that you did when you were in cyberspace before, in the full dive before, where it's just you're just almost like straight muscling it. The act of physically using your cyber presence to interact with the cyber world. Like banging on the window.
To answer your question, because it's going to be faster for me to say this than to type it out, Iris, I did not use a story point using Femme Fatale because I would not have benefited me. It was just if I choose to use the extra ability that comes with Femme Fatale. I just used the raw strength of Femme Fatale.
Got it. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay, that's one.
Also,
that's gonna be kind of out.
I would also be willing to let you do this legacy.
Huh.
If you want, I will let you do this for, instead of 5 strain, I'll let you do it for 4 wounds.
Next time.
Next time. Okay. All right. Okay.
If we cut a deal again next time, I will take, because we are now getting into the I need to watch the strain level. But that is 3 strength from the blade.
Yep.
I have 2 advantages, so I'm going to make that 4 strength from the blade. That cancels out. That cancels out. I have 1 extra advantage and a triumph.
And a triumph. Okay. With the triumph, I will say that with a strength of 4 and a triumph, I will let you get to 6. I will let you get to 6 with 1 advantage, which you can use to take 1 strain, to heal 1 strain.
Oh.
So, like, there's a moment where you're hacking through this, and for a minute, you're like going through this, and you're a really good hacker. But there is a part of you that's just like, kind of been breezing through this, just kind of like, yeah, okay, you're in the zone, you're in the flow. You've been having like the Docs attack has been going really well, or not Docs, DDoS that has been going really well. You've been like enjoying the distraction of like their network security not tailing you, and then you run into the first real challenge of their network security, and that little bit of like cockiness came in front of you, and you're like, oh shit, okay, hold on, and you have to like adjust course, but you saved it. You're still in it, like sweat on your brow. You can't hear them, you can't see them, but then Getty and Maxine are like watching the physical strain on your real world body, like concern starting to grow as you start to get like a little thin sheen of sweat on your forehead. But you have access to what is effectively like the power cable that goes to the security alarm for sublevels 1 and 2. You can just shut those robots off. Or not shut them off. Shut off the alarm, which will prevent the robots from activating.
Yes.
The only way that those could activate is if someone pried open the door, in which case that single robot would activate. But nobody's going to know that. Probably. So you have disabled the security response measures for the first and second sublevels. What's next?
So, I don't think that this is necessarily meant to work in this way. So, you can tell me no.
Uh-huh.
Let me double check. If Legacy, the only reason I am saying this is considering the fact that Legacy is supposed to be in this full dive, which means that she can move much faster than a normal hacker. Not necessarily faster than a runner, if there is indeed a runner going, but faster than a standard hacker. Can she try to place up a really quick and dirty ice to make it difficult to get back into this security system by the security people?
Yes. Yeah, if you want to roll me a what is it? SysOps. Yes, roll me a SysOps check. And it'll be at because you're doing it quick, like very fast, I'll make it 3 purple. The degree of your success is going to dictate how much effort they have to put in to get back into their security system.
Do I want to use one of these? I'll go ahead and activate defensive SysOps, which means that if they are rolling against an ice that I make, they will have to add an additional 2 black. And wouldn't you know, I have the same SysOps as I have hacking. So we're just rolling the same fucking hand again. Okay. That'll cancel. That'll cancel. That's not great. That's 1 success and 1 advantage. But I'll take it.
It's you basically put like a series of mouse traps. It will, like, they're going to try to walk into the room and they're going to get Home Alone trapped. It won't kill them. It won't prevent them from accessing it for very long, but it will, like, surprise them and delay them.
I do because like Legacy, I did have her pick up a couple with her, like the number of things that she can have. I did have her pick up Ice Wall.
Oh. Okay.
And it even matches with the like description. Invented by a insufferably clever coder, the barrier exists in numerous iterations, and many runners use it as a base when developing their own ice.
Mm-hmm.
So can I have her have thrown up an ice wall?
I will say if you want to drop that program, you can lose it and leave that program, like, effectively not have access to it for the remainder of this, like, hacking spree, but you can install it here.
Sure.
Such that they can't activate their security without much frustration.
I will do that because I have other things for oh shit moments if I have to do security for myself.
Okay. So you drop Ice Wall there, effectively, like, putting up a full stop to their ability to reactivate security measures for the lower floors, which is going to be a huge problem once they figure out that this is happening downstairs as well as upstairs. You're moving on to the third floor now?
Yeah, if she doesn't see anything else branching off that she wants to, like, go poke around in, she will hop down to the third floor.
For the most part, all of the biggest part of the second level is the archive data, and you've got a back door. That is a time intensive task that you will return to later. That is, like, the biggest win on that for the first two floors, in my DM opinion. The third floor has, I will tell you, much higher security. I'm going to use the bathroom really quick, and then we can do third floor hacking.
Just fucking flipping through the giant book of talents, back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, every fucking session, I just have to fucking read Kaya's talents. I just forget. What the fuck can she do again?
Like, well, you'll remember the most often used ones eventually.
Mm-hmm. It will take time. At least you're getting a crash course, like, immediately of all your programs, though.
It's gonna be so long before I have to hack again that we'll forget them anyway.
True, true.
Gosh dang it, Legacy. Why'd you have to make things easier for us? How dare you?
Fucking dude, we're gonna stumble upon the fucking robots, and it's gonna be a fucking panic. Until they're not powering on, and we're like, oh, thank Christ. Okay. Probably Legacy.
hear the small voice of Larry eventually. Put me on one. Put me on one.
Yeah, take off the guns and sure.
Put me on one.
If he's only allowed to punch things, he is allowed.
What about the taser ones?
Thin ice? But I feel like at this point Kaya's like, fuck it, why not?
What if we just hand Larry a taser?
Oh my god. Kaya's gonna be so fucking concerned. Like, fuck, what if he actually hits himself with that?
I don't think his arms bend that way.
Okay.
Just like
Hey,
the little flying Larry, you just hear like just it fucking zip zip.
he's talking about handing Larry a taser.
Just a taser?
Yeah. Since Kai is like,
mean,
if you're on thin ice, if you put the Larry on a like security drone body that has a taser instead of a gun, well, I'm just gonna make it even better. Just give him a taser. He'll have fun.
Oh my god. What would he even do with a
Oh my god.
taser?
He
Have
definitely
fun.
hit someone.
He definitely,
True.
yeah, he would.
Have the
He
time
would-
of his life.
It's like that's the bit from episode 2 where C-3PO is on top of the battle droid body, overcome with malice and the desire to kill. But level 3, and after we get you started on level 3, we'll jump back to the downstairs crew. So you get to level 3 and you run into 2 different branching paths of branching paths. You have like the lights and temperature control, and then you have the security system behind it. In the other direction, there is buried way deep into the dark recesses of this big blue chip building that you're examining, that is the Tetsuo cyberspace. There is the data that is stored in the 3rd level.
I gotta roll something to figure out which one she would go for first.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta do. If it's above a 10, then it's gonna be the data. If it's below a 10, it's going for the security. It's going for the data first.
To the data. Okay. So you run into this. You, with a quick, like glancing access to the exterior wall, like you are facing a mountain climb. You're facing like a long hike followed by a mountain climb, followed by a massive vertical sprint up a sheer surface. Like, it is increasingly harder and more durable cybersecurity. The first one, if you want to go ahead and make your access check, it's going to be 3 purple. Or your icebreaker check.
Okay, and I do have battering ram, so that makes it easier.
Mm-hmm.
Purple. Gotcha. That one cancels. That one cancels. One singular success with a strength of 6 on battering ram.
Oh man. Okay. So the first wall you run up on. It is a barrier ice. This is the Heimdall 1.0. So, yes. It is
Oh, no.
It is strength 7, which is exactly what you have, combining your success with the barrier or the battering ram. So you do get through it, but it takes every last bit of your focus and energy to bust through it. And like it does not crumble. It is not like, even with battering ram, like the sheer amount of effort and finesse that you have to put, it is like it is taking all of the precision of picking a lock with all of the force of throwing the hardest punch you can. It is an incredibly deft maneuver. And even still, it does not crumble. It breaks enough for you to get through. Go ahead and now I'm gonna roll. Actually, I need a sysops check. Where is that?
Let me double check something. Remember that I have an additional trace from NetHunter.
Oh, you're right. This is important. And are there any black dice inflicted from this? I think that's a different thing.
That is a different thing. The black dice that I currently have active would be if they try to get into the security system on the upper levels.
This is going to be a hard check because before there can be a trace, there has to be a sweep. Fail. Okay. Go ahead and make your next ice break check.
3 purple still?
Yes, this is going to be 3 purple.
That's good. That's a blank. What type of program is it against?
It is against another barrier ice.
Okay. Check. Increase the strength. Okay. That is going to be using my battering ram again.
Mm-hmm.
And that's 2 success, 2 advantage.
2 success, 2 advantage with a battering ram of 6 puts you at an 8, which is enough to get through this one too. Again, it's the same sort of story of like busting through with this amount of sheer force and careful precision. As you get through, something happens on the cyberspace side. This is so like breaking through those first 2 barrier ice. You carefully like start to maneuver in, but in contrast to the other barriers and sentries and like programs and code walls you have run into, or code gates, the actual environment you're in, that like blue chip, like weird environment that is cyberspace, you are standing on the outside of the building and you're like looking down into those sheer windows. And that's just what the environment is. It's kind of like your brain trying to process what it looks like and how everything exists in this world, like in this cyberspace. But something happens. You break through that next barrier ice, and you're like posted up against this window in such a way that you know where you're at and focusing on it. But when you open, like when you look at the window, it starts to bend inward, like a sinkhole starts to form. And it's not pulling you in, but it's like the window that you are looking through like dips inward and folds away. And you can like enter the system fully now. And to reach that the last ice that is in there, you will have to step completely into the system.
So if she understands that she's going completely into the system, I would like to do a special check for one of my abilities. It's called Snare. It's a sysops check.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to make a hard 3 purple sysops check. If I succeed, once before the end of the encounter, if I am faced with somebody, I can make them do a daunting vigilance check as an incidental, and if they fail, they're staggered.
Ooh, okay. Funny that you say faced with somebody.
Yeah, I don't like how you're describing things. Like I said, he's a paranoid little sucker, so she would do this. And this does not benefit from any of my other shit. It's legitimately just this roll. We're gonna see. That's not great. That'll cancel. That'll cancel. One success. One success. So, if I am face to face with somebody,
Mm-hmm.
I can choose to make them roll the vigilance.
So
I can activate a snare.
You dive into the darkness beyond the system, and you are fully inside this Tetsuo network. Like, not just out in the web connecting to it remotely, you're like in more or less like virtually in the same space as the party. If you had a digital ghost, they could probably see you wandering the halls. But when you fully subsume yourself in and you walk through like the interior of that not building, it gets dark really, really quickly. And the last ice that you see, there is no wall, there is no sentry or barrier. You are kind of standing in this dark void. There's no digital lines or any remote trace of the building. It's like space. It truly is like space, but in the distance, there are no motes of light that are stars. And you ready the battering ram, and with your successes in the battering ram, what is the total?
For a third one?
Yes, for the third one, the one you rolled.
Oh no, this was a snare check. This was separate. I haven't rolled the
a snare check? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was I had to roll something to see if I was going to have something in my back pocket, essentially.
Okay. So you have the snare active for if anyone. So if you are faced with anyone, your words, they will be hindered in trying to trace or pursue you?
Yes, essentially.
Gotcha. Okay. So you...
Essentially, if I run up against a runner, then they're going to have a problem.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm going to give you the benefit because I liked the wording you said when you are faced with someone. You're in this void now. It in a very weird way is kind of like stepping over the event horizon into like a not real space. You don't see a wall. You see instead like the faint outline of a person standing in front of you. Their back is facing towards you. Except you and they are not standing on the same plane. Like if I were to draw it, it's like Legacy, you're standing here, like on this flat plane, and the person standing in front of you, like 20 or 30 feet, they are standing slightly off kilter, like on a different floor. And in that slightly tilted way, you can see that there's light from no light source casted onto their shoulders and their head and part of their back. You can't really make out any defining details except that they have a somewhat masculine frame, and they're wearing some type of like it's actually kind of hard to tell what they're wearing, but they have a collared like shirt or jacket on. Like if you've seen the old Batman Beyond cartoons, the really harsh shadows and lighting, it's kind of like that, where you can only really make out very sparse details. Go ahead and roll your hacking check or your ice break check, and it will be 4 purple, but I'm going to upgrade it to be 1 red and 4 purple.
1 red and 4 purple?
Sorry, 1 red and 3 purple. Excuse
Okay,
me.
I was about to say, sir. Is it, what type of program am I looking at?
This is, let me see, I just had it. It is I think it's a sentry.
You're gonna hate me.
Yes, it is a sentry.
You're gonna hate me.
Uh-huh.
Because if you just spend a point, I don't feel bad about spending a point in return.
Mm-hmm.
Femme Fatale, once per encounter when a runner attempts to break a piece of ice while Femme Fatale is active, and I've not used this ability yet this time, I can spend a story point to succeed. Okay.
You know what? You can totally spend a story point and succeed. How does Femme Fatale look to Legacy when she is in cyberspace?
Reading the description, seeing if it sparks something in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
So, with the description, Femme Fatale reason it works against centuries is that it shifts at times randomly, so it makes it harder to override.
Mm-hmm.
So I almost think it like looks like a stupid like 90s anime like after image when you go really fast.
The fucking like blur ass.
Where there's like 3 of the same things stacked on top of each other. It's like that for Legacy, and it just blasts at the Century and overwhelms it. But that will mean that my Femme Fatale is down and used.
So I want you to so like you activate Femme Fatale and you start to like blur your own movement in this Dragon Ball Z ass way. You get closer to this sentry, and as you get closer to it, the sentry turns, and when you get closer, more of it illuminates from that sourceless light, and you know who this is. Immediately you recognize this figure, and they're on a purely mechanical level. This is a program. You know this, Legacy. You know that this is digital software, and this is you've seen some wild shit, but the odds of this being anything other than just a sculpted program meant to have a not a personality or a thing, but like to be a somewhat intimidating factor. Like the logic of your brain knows that, but there is something about this that extends beyond logic. You see the light illuminate as this figure turns, and the sentry is Joseph Diego. A perfect recreation of Joseph Diego, and his eyes like glow red and stand out against the black void of the area you're in. And it is like perfectly tracked movement to a point. The blurring of Femme Fatale prevents him from knowing exactly where you are, but it is a surreal experience because you see in like to the last detail, like the pores on his face and the hair follicles on his chin and on his eyebrows and head, the suit, like the trademark scowl. It's him. It's really him. But it's also not him. It's just a sentry, and you're reminded of that as you like dart forward, and the vision is unable to track because you are a hacker. You're a person, and this is a program, and programs can only respond so much. Go ahead and roll me, however, a discipline check at 3 purple.
This is gonna go real well. Ooh.
No.
That is 1 failure, 2 disadvantage.
1 failure and 2 disadvantage. Okay. So you like dart forward in this completely anime ass, like cannot catch what you cannot see kind of way. But to get past the program, to get through the ice, you have to beat the ice, and you do just that. There is no doubting it. You close in to like deconstruct and defeat the security measure. And when you close in, you can hear like the dull kind of scratchy voice. It's Joseph Diego's voice, but it's fake. And you get right up close to him to like deliver the final blow, so to speak. And as you close in, you hear in that crackly voice from like all around you, you hear, "I see you." And then you close in, and he just stops, and his image glitches and shifts in that Spider-Verse-y way, where he is distorted. The image kind of breaks apart and crumbles, and the program is gone. But you will take 2 strain from the fear, and you don't have any more security checks to get to the data. But if you get locked out of this, you will have to spend you will get a black die inflicted upon you for every step that and any other future images of Joseph Diego that you encounter along the way. But you have gotten to the secured data at level 3.
Fucking Lacey is ready. First time this entire time, ready to not be here, ready to be done. But she has a job to do. So I imagine like her brain would just like see once she gets to like the data, just like almost like a library shelf of just like boxes that are kind of like books. And she is just going to start sweeping that to whatever secured server she has set up to send things to.
So
Just like walking down the grocery store aisle with like the arm out, swiping everything into the cart.
So you get to that like matrix white space like library shelf thing where you're just like scooping it, and as you're scooping it, there are volumes and volumes of data, and there's not as much as there was in the archive, but there's still a lot. And what you're able to look at, just like glancing over the like as your eyes just kind of sweep over the surface, the titles of some of these, they multiple, if like 90%, if not more of them have something to do with the Hex Project. Interviews, videos, trial runs, failed trial runs, like audio logs, early design schematics, like everything. It's all here. But there is something that you find as you are going through it, that you realize something. You notice that as you are like sweeping through the secured data in here, there is something that has not happened in the previous areas where you've gotten access to files. And you can anticipate, like, these files and all of the ones that you had looked at before, they're probably encrypted. But you something gives you pause, like getting to this data library. You look at one of the like many quote unquote books on the shelf, and you notice that there's a typo. Like not just like a mismatched word. There is like a directly wrong word. Like imagine the word Hex Project written on the spine of a book, but the E is backwards. And that, like in your brief time in this cyberspace area, you've not seen that. And it doesn't make sense to see that now, like a special character in data. And like just that small thing tips you off like something's wrong. Something's wrong about this stuff that you found.
Very carefully move the other books to either side away, so they're not touching this one.
Mm-hmm.
Can she do a scan of it?
Yes, you can. Go ahead and make me. It will be a 3 purple.
Okay. That cancels. Those cancel. Advantage and triumph.
Advantage and triumph. Okay. So you sift through this book that has a like a bad letter on it, and sifting through it, you can see that there's trial log information and dates and interview information and like all of this data. And at first you're looking at it and it looks, like data. It's information about the Hex Project. It's detailing out an interview that was given to a test subject. But as you're flipping through the pages, there is like a hiccup, like a glitch, and the book shifts and resets itself. And as it glitches in your arm, and like reassembles itself into the normal shape it was before, all the text is different. And it says on every page in different sizes, in like as though it was formatted and all of the words were replaced with this text. It says repeatedly, don't let him have it, 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 over and over and over and over.
Don't let
on every
him
page.
have it. HIM.
Yes. Don't let him have it.
So if Legacy tries to like take this book from a little bit less of a physical representation in her mind and tries to dig to the data of it, the ones and zeros of it,
Mm-hmm.
can she try to see if it's connected back to something? There's a thread somewhere.
I will say, you don't even have to roll for this. You are a good enough hacker and have been engrossed in it long enough that it's not connected to anything. This digital storage, like this space and all of this data stored here, it has been. Actually, go ahead, roll me either a science check at 2 purple or a hacking check at 3 purple.
Science?
You know for sure it's not connected to anything else. There's no other machinery or anything in there. It is stored data on multiple machines that are at least connected to this network.
2 purple. Okay. That's 1 success, 3 advantage.
1 success, 3 for which did you roll?
Science.
Science. So thinking back to like some kind of primal formative lessons with data and how data can be corrupted or manipulated on a fundamental level, like looking at the ones and zeros of it, right? Like the subatomic makeup of data. You look at it and you kind of open your third eye and peel back the veil of the fake reality you're looking at. And you can see that all of the data, you kind of flip to the back of the book and look at the core of it. And it's been corrupted and intentionally manipulated. It's all been falsified. At least everything in the book you're holding has been falsified, like scrambled, made into like random bunk, or at least close enough to what looks real at a glance. But if you imagine if you were to really dig deep and analyze it, you would see that it's been faked. Somebody intentionally sabotaged the data here. Roll me a perception check at 2 purple.
Fucking perception. Where are you? There you are. 2 purple?
Mm-hmm.
That cancels 2 success.
2 success. There's that realization of like someone intentionally sabotaged the data here. And there's another realization that comes to you. All of the security measures were still in place, which means that the person who sabotaged this had a key. They knew how to get here. or at least they knew how to get here without having to destroy or hack their way through. And they knew to sabotage it in such a way that it would be functionally useless, but on a surface level appear stable. And you look through the different books in your shopping cart, right? And almost everything in there is bunk. There's one file that isn't manipulated.
What's it about?
It's an image. It's a scanned image of a letter. When you open it and look at the letter, it's handwritten on a piece of paper, like actual pressed paper from a notebook, and it's kind of old and it has like frayed edges to it. The ink is faded. And it says very simply, it says at the top, Joey, I'm sorry. We've made a mistake. I'm trying to fix it now. Johan.
Legacy. Let's kind of like stare at this image for a minute. Would she know if the data from any of this can be unscrambled? Or is it so far gone that it's useless?
With your professional, like in your best guesstimate, you would guess that this was so effectively and thoroughly destroyed, it is probably useless. You can take it. It's easy enough for you to take all of the data with you, or at least send it somewhere.
She'll still send as much as she can, because I imagine she has a like hard drive tucked away somewhere secure that she was planning on dumping everything that she could get to. Because to her, this was a smashing grab. She wasn't going to look at a whole bunch of stuff. So she'll still copy everything over that she can manage. And she'll do two things after she is done copying. She will first and foremost take that image. She sent that to her hard drive as well. She will send that to Lockhart. So that'll be another pop-up. I can imagine that would pop up on Lockhart's phone when they are in the clone room.
The letter?
Yeah.
This is going to be wonderful.
And then...
Oh, God.
This is a... There's something else that she would want to send, but it's very dependent on what you would dictate here, Joe.
Uh-huh.
So, back in the other system, you're making the custom programs.
Yep.
There is no program like this in this system.
Okay.
But this would be very well. Let me just focus. You allowed me to have the signature legacy program that she's never used before, Chaos Bomb.
Yes.
That effectively destroyed everything. Would you allow something like this in the system? And if so, what would it cost?
I will say,
and knowing that this would be a signature of chaos that she has not left thus far.
So I will say, if you want to drop a chaos bomb, if there's two ways that I would think you could do it. You could do it and have it immediately go off and fry everything and set off every alarm in the goddamn network, or set off only the alarms that are active, mind you. Or you could put a timer on it. And if you wanted to try to put a timer on it, I will say you have to you don't have to roll to set it up, because you are smart enough and it's your program that you developed. You can either take a minute to set it up and use like real time to, like let it go off. Or if you want to do it fast, you could roll a d6. But
would there be any way for her to contain it to level 3?
Yeah, I think that if you were to set off a chaos bomb, you could just blow up all of level 3. You would be kicked out of the network because the network would be nigh unusable.
What if she retreated up before the timer went off?
Yeah, that would be fine. You would even if you didn't retreat, it would just bump you out of the network. But if you retreated to the first and second sublevel, you could nuke level 3. All hell would break loose on the 3rd level.
Has the group been able to set up in such a way that if they try to message her back, she gets it, even if it's like to her like 15-30 minutes later?
I would think if Legacy could send messages out, I imagine that there could probably be some like mathematical bullshittery that Kaya could have figured out to send a message where it's like, okay, cool, you'll get this message, but like it's gonna be delayed, and it won't look like a normal message to us because it has to be formatted in such a weird way. But yeah, I think that could happen. It'd have to be like text, literal text. It couldn't be like a video or anything. Mm-hmm. But you can send static images and text between one another. Or at least Kaya, Lockhart, real people can send text and images to Legacy.
So what I want Legacy to have been doing in amongst her just dumping books into her shopping cart, sent the image to Lockhart, and then immediately after sent a text of, I'm going to burn this level.
Mm-hmm.
And then sent a message to Kaya of essentially of like, I'm going to burn this level, but to Kaya, tell me when you're on the way out.
Mm-hmm.
Because them texting that to her would give her enough time to, like, they're on their way out, she can set the timer and run as well.
Okay.
And so she'll just, because she's not being able to see the video cameras of things on her end.
Mm-hmm.
So she has gotten very thoroughly distracted with, I'm going to nuke this level. So she's not going to fuck around with the security system unless she thinks that she absolutely has to. So they have either until they are done and send her a message, or she gets sufficiently bored and or spooked enough before she unleashes chaos.
Okay. So I will say the chaos bomb will destroy the network and like eradicate any sense of control the network can establish on itself. It won't fry any robots, if they are, it will fry any ability to control them, and it will fry their like general vibe. Like they won't be able to function properly. Some of them will be destroyed for sure, but not all of them. It won't like unilaterally blow up all of the robots. Or
But
other
they might
security
just
measures.
be like shooting in random directions and shooting at a very targeted direction.
Yeah, it will definitely fuck them up, but they won't necessarily blow up on sight.
Yeah.
This is the chaos bomb, so it's going for maximum damage and insanity.
Yeah, it's less of dropping a nuke, it's more of dropping a nuclear-sized shrapnel bomb.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so you can take the time to set up a timed chaos bomb, which, for the effect that it has, you can roll me. I'm gonna say, roll me a hacking check, and I'm going to spitball a power level of icebreaker. Let me look at these icebreakers here, because this is about to get fucking silly.
I apologize to Kaya and Lockhart. Legacy does not have impulse control. The maximum extent of her impulse control is she's giving you a warning.
At least she is giving a warning. I feel like beginning of campaign Legacy would not have done that.
No, she wouldn't have.
Mm-hmm.
Character growth.
Yeah, character growth.
Character growth.
We're all changing, compromising.
It is going to be an override strength of 9. It irrevocably damages any system software connected to the network and hardware, unless the person on the receiving end passes a sysops check. The degree at which they pass will dictate how much damage they take. Roll me a hacking check at 4 purple. And whatever success or failures you get are going to be added or subtracted to 9. And that's going to dictate how much damage is inflicted to everything.
Okay.
All the files, anything that has no health, like a file or like light controls or temperature controls, anything like that, instantly destroyed or completely irrevocably damaged and gone into a state of complete disarray.
That cancels. Okay. So that means I need to activate this, because that was at first a full even. So I will activate the distinctive style, which will give me a success and a disadvantage ultimately.
I will inflict 1 strain on you. From all of what you have seen and all of these terrible things and confusing things that you have found, and the decision to be like, you know what? I don't even want to see anymore. Fuck it. Fuck this whole place. Fuck you. Fuck this. Fuck those. You will deal 10 damage to everything. So I need.
Oh boy, the Legacy's about to become enemy number 1 for Tetsuo.
If she wasn't already, she is now. So you start setting up the chaos bomb, which do you have an idea of what this looks like in this digital space? What the chaos bomb looks like?
Disco ball? Disco ball?
No. So, you know how she has the double hacker identity, the white hat versus the black hat?
Mm-hmm.
So the white hat is like, she always has like a little cartoony gremlin face attached to it. And that's what she is, like, that's a calling card amongst the, like, white hat and, like, her doing security for businesses and things. In a very morbid way, I imagine that now that she has a physical descriptor, like a physical ability to see this, it essentially is her putting a box onto the ground that when it explodes, just launches out just shadowy, horrific, monstrous versions of like gremlins and goblins. Like the shit that would give you nightmares as a kid.
Perfect.
And
Horrifying.
they just start tearing things to shred.
Okay. So, meanwhile, as this is happening, Kaya, Lockhart, the rest of the crew, you get to the top of the steps. You all are like, God, let's just get the fuck out of here. Lockhart, you get a message on your phone. Kaya, you also get a message on your phone. Almost simultaneously.
That's never good. All right.
Did you send the letter to both of them, Legacy?
I didn't say that she did earlier, so I'm gonna have to say no, because I didn't think about it.
Okay.
So it's only Lockhart that got the letter.
Lockhart, you get a letter, an image of a letter, like someone scanned it. You don't recognize the handwriting. It's far too neat. But other than that, you see that image of like kind of old yellow stained or yellow aged notebook paper with those words on it. And Kaya, you get a message from Legacy that says what was it? Like something akin to like,
I'm gonna like burn this level to the ground. Tell me when you're leaving.
Fucking God. Fuck. I'll be right back. Kai's gonna go back downstairs.
I have a quick question. By
Yes.
burning to the ground, you mean digitally, not physically, right?
A little bit of both.
It would depend on whether Lockhart would make that distinction. Logically, she can only do things digitally, but you also know that she can do a lot of shit digitally.
A lot of things can be tampered with.
I see
So
that.
Kaya. Oh, hey, buddy. Hello. Kaya's gonna be on the safe side because that's just who she is as a person. She's going to go get evidence of the clones and shit before leaving. Pictures real quick.
Pictures and video.
Pictures and video, yeah. Just getting all that shit down before they fucking leave. She's like, I don't know if this is gonna survive. Whatever the fuck Legacy is going to do. Better safe than sorry.
But the other thing, well, again, that's meta. Never mind. I want to tell Lockhart to do something, but it's meta.
But we're working together. We're a team.
If you pay a story point, I'll let you do it. I won't even be mad.
I've already used a story point that's on the other two.
I say go ahead.
Do it.
Up to you.
Do it.
Just do it.
What is it?
Coward.
Well, it's more of like if depending on how Lockhart and Legacy are not the closest of this like little group of weirdos, but how much on the same wavelength they get on certain situations is the thing I question.
They're both paranoid motherfuckers.
But there would be an implication, I think, from Legacy to Lockhart that she has found something. Like, she was not planning on going in and burning things down. She was planning on going in and grabbing and disappearing.
Mhm.
And she would have explained that to everybody. So for her to say, I'm going to destroy everything, there would be a little bit of an implication of probably needs to be destroyed.
I imagine
Hmm.
there's probably a similar sentiment in Lockhart where it's like Legacy on her own has decided that everything needs to be destroyed. Conveniently, Lockhart feels very similarly.
I'm glad you picked up on that roll, Joe. Yeah. Oh, I kind of hate this, but Lockhart
You know,
is
she's good at
going.
disconnecting pods.
But Lockhart's going to go over to Marcus and look at the computer. She is not extremely tech savvy, but she can use a computer.
Yep.
Is this simple enough to navigate?
The computer?
Yes.
Simple enough. Marcus is currently looking at it, and when you walk over and get close enough, he takes that as an invitation to converse. So he's like, you walk up and without looking at you, he just says, "This is wild. These are like storage pods, but also like kind of like a glass house, like a what is it? A greenhouse? It's like they're growing something. There's biodata of stuff in it, and there's like nutrient levels." And he points on the screen at the different levels being fed into the pods.
If Marcus looks at Lockhart, she has paled a bit, or she looks a little green, to be honest, from earlier. But she is radiating a very, very cold anger. She hasn't said anything to him.
He turns to look in that moment, like going to continue like theorizing, like, yeah, I don't know what they're trying to. And he turns and goes, are you good?
Lockhart will very evenly kind of scoot. I assume the chair Marcus is in is like a wheelie one, right?
He's not even standing in the chair. He's like standing up at the desk, bent over at the waist, typing on it.
Okay. She'll put a hand on his shoulder and kind of urge him to step away.
You put a hand on his shoulder. He listens, but there's a moment where Sprite like takes a step forward and is like, is she about to attack him? Because she looks like she is wound so fucking tight right now.
She pushes him away, and she's gonna start going on the computer. Where's the kill switch?
You search up and down for it. It takes you a good like minute and a half of searching. In that minute and a half of searching, you too get to see a feed of data streaming to all of the pods. There are several there are several levels of pod, and most of them are empty, but even the ones that weren't labeled as like having something in them, there are others that are in quote unquote prenatal stages of development. They literally say that on the fine print of some of these pods, or not the pods, but like the data feed. There are things in them that are not able to be seen yet, or at least you couldn't see them very easily from where you were looking, like at head level. There's bio information and nutrient levels for each pod, even ones that are empty, presumably. But eventually, you find a switch at the bottom that it effectively has like blood red power button.
There's no easy way to do this. Or no kinder way to do this, is there?
Do you click the button?
Yeah.
When you click it, a pop-up comes up. And it has two options. It has proceed and cancel. But the text of it says, "What are you doing?"
It says, "What are you doing?"
Yes. It's not an error message. It's not a, "Are you sure?" It's not anything. It says, "What are you doing?" Marcus and Sprite see this too. And they're both like looking at the screen, and they look at each other, and then they look back at the screen. Kaya, what are you doing? You ran back downstairs to get pictures of the bodies, yes?
Pictures, videos. You know when you have like your phone taking a video, there's a little button to like take a picture.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's doing that as quickly and efficiently as she can.
Every angle of the pod.
Dimension of the room.
In the same way that people take a picture of themselves with a piece of paper with a date on it for like a Reddit AMA, I imagine you are taking pictures of the pods, taking pictures of like part of yourself too, to like validate, like, no, I'm really here. These are really real things. I am touching the surface of one right now. That's what's inside, like trying to unequivocally show that this is not doctored footage or video or picture.
Yep.
Okay. You can just about finish doing that up and start hiking back up the steps. Lockhart, what are you doing? What are you doing, Lockhart? You click proceed, presumably.
Yep.
Another pop-up window comes up and says, "Don't." It has proceed and cancel.
She hesitates ever so slightly. But continues to click proceed.
You get one more. It says, "There's no going back after this." Marcus from behind you is like, "What is this?"
This is the cloning facility.
It's him and Sprite exchange a look. Sprite speaks up and says, "Are you trying to turn it off? Or..."
Yes. I'm putting an end to the copies.
You hit proceed?
Yeah, I'll hit proceed.
It asks for you to scan the badge. When you reach over and swipe Ben Getty's badge, it beeps, and there's a red and green flash, and all the windows close. The computer screens, there's 3 computer screens up. All of them go black. All the light in the room, the lights in there, you didn't really notice it because you thought it was the ambient lighting, but the pods, the glass interior of the pods, they all go dark. There was a dull bluish white light that was on the inside, and now it is dark, making them look kind of like dim alien spaceships in a weird way. Another thing that none of you really noticed, but now it's gone, you notice the absence of it. You get to the top of the steps, and all of you hear the doo of a low droning noise that was so prevalent throughout the room and so dimly loud that now that it's gone, it is dead quiet, like eerily quiet. There's just no noise. What do you do?
Lockhart takes the badge and kind of grips it. And turns back to the group. We should move on from here. There's nothing else
Right.
left to see.
Right, holds up their hand and says, where else are we going to go? Are we going back up now, or are we going to next door?
Did Kaya relay that Legacy is going to be blowing this place up?
Not yet. She immediately went to go get evidence.
Mm.
She was like, I can tell everyone when I come back. But I imagine she's done by now, right, Joe? Or
Yeah. You're at the top of the steps, evidence gathered.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And again, I'll add that Legacy did say, tell me when you're leaving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kaya probably putting her phone away. All right, so Legs wants to burn this place to the ground, which can't blame her, but she told me to let her know when we're leaving. But if I know her, then we should probably hurry up, because patience is a new thing for her. And I don't know how much of it she's got yet, so...
Sprite snorts. Sounds like Legs.
Yeah, took a long time to figure that out. Well, teach it to her anyway, but we
Marcus, he's like nodding approvingly, like, good. I've had a positive impact. He turns his head to you, Lockhart, and he just goes, there's 7 other rooms. Are we gonna go to all of them? Do we even want to stop at another one?
Fuck.
We can check at least one more on the way out, unless we all want to separate. Which I don't suggest doing.
No, we're not doing that.
But Sprite holds up a hand and goes, I think we should do that.
Yeah, no. Fuck off.
See, we could do teams of 2. I'll go with him. She gestures to Marcus. You go together, and then winks at you, Kaya. And then they point to Locke across the room at the door, and say, and she can just do whatever she wants.
It'll be easier if we stick together and there is only one card currently.
But there might be cool secrets in the other. What if there's a laser? Or like a hover bike or a jetpack?
But still, none of those things are all that interesting. Second of all, we need to hurry.
Sprite just rolls their eyes. And Marcus will hold up a finger very meekly and be like, we could split up and go to neighboring rooms. That way we're not far apart, but we could cover more ground. If this is down here, and he gestures to the pods, What else is down here?
I hate that you guys are making points.
He scratches the back of his head and he just goes, yeah. Legacy is... She makes me nosy.
Yeah, you're both influencing each other.
Fine.
They'll reach
We
the
can do
happy
2 more
medium
rooms.
eventually.
What'd you say, Iris?
Fine, we can do 2 more rooms that are across from each other. We can just pass the time between.
But, preferably staying within line of sight or shouting distance, not, going to fuck all, who knows?
Lockhart's
Right.
already starting to make her way towards the door, so we can talk and walk.
Bright starts to follow, and as they start to follow behind you, Lockhart, they snag Marcus by the bicep and start like dragging him along, and just goes, "Great, so lovebirds and best buds," and starts confidently, like jauntily stepping forward. Marcus, like furrowed brow. He doesn't say this to anyone, but he kind of says it under his breath, like, "Which is which? I know which one I would prefer." And he gets dragged out of the room.
I feel like Kaya assumes the lovebirds are Sprite and Marcus.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Lockhart's thing too.
It's like, okay.
I knew Legacy swung that way. Didn't realize Marcus did.
All right, good for them, I guess. We gotta hurry.
You pass by Locke, and Locke grabs your arm, Lockhart, and she says, "I can make sure the exit's safe if you want, or I could check a room. I'm paid to be here." And she gives you like a hard stare and says, "So tell me where I should go."
I figured you'd stick between the 2 rooms. Keep an eye on both of us, but if you want to help, you can, I guess. So, above table here.
Uh-huh.
I was thinking like we'd go to these rooms here. These 2.
Yeah, the two, this interior and this anterior.
Yeah, and then it does also a straight shot to the, thing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I will also point out, because you originally said that you were going to the inside on the opposite side. In order to get across to those 2, you have to pass by a set of 2 either direction.
Mm-hmm. Well, I was gonna suggest Locke either goes to one of these 2 rooms, or again just kind of more stands guard. I'm fine either way. So yeah, actually Lockhart will just straight up bring that up then.
Well, if I can throw in a suggestion here
Mm-hmm.
of just going ahead and going into these 2 rooms, so that if there is more stuff that you feel like you need to see on your way out, you have to go by these 2, so you can duck in there for easier.
Okay.
So there's if you're wanting to only hit rooms that are on your way out, then that's 4 rooms as a possibility, rather than just completely bypassing a whole bunch of rooms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So you're going
we'll
here
take the
and
back.
here.
And then Locke can go to this room if they want to go to one. The one that was
That's
directly
true.
across that you guys have not gone to.
Okay. Is that the plan?
She is your NPC though, so.
Yeah, just my personal opinion is to either do these 2 rooms or these 2 rooms because they're closer to the exit.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing.
But I kind of do want to get and search for more rooms too.
Mm-hmm.
While
do
we're
you want
down
to hit
here.
4 rooms then?
Yeah, kind of, because we could go this way and hit more. We don't have to spend too much time in them, but just seeing what there is inside will probably at least be good.
I will say
say
you
there's
didn't
more
trip
pods?
security.
Yeah, we didn't trip security.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Not yet.
yeah, not yet. But I feel like clearing as much of this out as we can while still like on our way to the exit would be best. Because you have some time.
There are 7 rooms that we can go to right now.
Uh-huh.
There are 5 of us.
We
could split up.
Uh-huh.
That's such a bad idea.
That's why I think of if you're keeping the pair so that you're not completely split up. And you're wanting, if you feel like Locke is capable enough to be on their own, have them go into this room. And then you still have like Sprite and Marcus in one, and then Lockhart and Kaya in the other, so that they're within shouting distance to help each other out across the hallway. So that gets 3 rooms out.
Okay, we'll do that.
And then you still have to go around to this one, and it can end up ducking and poking your heads into these 2 rooms on your way out. And also, it gives you an opportunity, like, tactically. Like, let's say security does get tripped and they're coming down the hallway. Like, over here. If you guys are over here, they're going to have to, like, split up to try and, like, flush you out. So you're only dealing with half the force.
That's a good point. Okay. Okay, yeah, I'll take that. Then, yeah, Lockhart will just suggest, fine, you can go over here. This room. Swipe the key card as she passes.
Okay, so you guys exit this room, swipe this. Locke looks at you and looks at the room and goes in. The brief glimpse that you see over Locke's shoulder, this room, it looks like a not that well stocked library. Metal shelving that holds up papers and documents and little what looks like hard drives. It's a pretty decently sized room with a lot of documentation there, and it's all physical. Which room are you going to? Are you going down to these ones or these ones?
We'll go down to these ones down here.
Whichever one Sprite didn't beeline to, I guess.
Sprite and Marcus will go wherever you tell them to go, for sure.
We're gonna go to the bigger room.
The bigger room? This one?
Yeah.
Okay. So Sprite and Marcus walk over here. You swipe the door in. Sprite gives you the 2-finger salute and goes into that room. That room, much smaller than the other one. You get a quick glimpse over their shoulders, and it looks like it looks like a kind of storage room. You don't really see much in there. You'd probably have to go in yourself if you wanted to more deeply understand what it is. But this last room, you open the door, Kaya and Lockhart. You could not have picked a better door to open. You open this door in the southernmost. I pre-baked which rooms were which. You open the door, and inside this room, very similar to Ben Getty's office, where it has that plateau and then a slope and then an open area. There is that same plateau, slope, and then an open area. In the center of the room is a device shockingly similar to the full dive and to the device that is or was in Ben Getty's laboratory. This device is far more robust. It is using much more advanced technology. It does not look assembled in a lab so much as it looks lovingly crafted with homemade, manufactured steel parts. Not mass reproduced, but I can't think of the word, but precision cut and molded. This device it's also less bulky. It is much more slimmed down. The helmet affixing structure is different, though. The structure that fits onto the helmet, it covers the eyes completely. It's almost like goggles go over the eyes. And the helmet has 3 tubed elements that come out of it and feed into a device on the opposite chair. Behind it, this much more slim chair. There's no restraints, there's no cooling system. It looks like it doesn't even require cooling. It really just looks like a slimmed down, sleek kind of fancy chair with a type of weird helmet that fits over your head and covers your eyes. But behind it, there is what looks to be like a very tall and advanced desktop. Like a very, very advanced, beyond state of the art at this point, looking desktop computer. It is a tower with multiple parts in it that neither of you could place, even if you passed an incredibly difficult science check. These parts and pieces are all unique. These are not something you buy in a store. Every last bit of this was custom made. And as you walk up and get closer to it, there's nothing else in the room aside from a few desks and computers that line the wall. Monitoring equipment, like papers that keep track of dates of when parts were updated, and like a list at towards the back. And as you walk in and look around and turn towards the like computer tower looking structure, you both see it at the same time. There is a staging element to this. The stage is a person sits in the chair, helmet goes on, the tubes feed into that computer device. On the computer device, there is some sort of receiving receptacle. That receptacle is then retrieved, exported from that machine. And there are instructions on how to use it. And at the top of that paper instruction list that is near that like tower, that desktop tower looking thing, it is the Hex Project. Fully written out. A fully functional Hex chair. This is it. This is the Hex Project.
Holy shit.
You can see
Oh, sorry.
You can see that next to that, like the instructional paper on like how to process a participant or test subject, there is a list of, it's handwritten. All of this is all paper. The only thing in here that is machinery, aside from the disconnected computers, is the Hex Project machine itself. The paper next to the instructions, it's like a logbook, but it's a single sheet of paper. And it doesn't have names after a certain point. You can see that there's a section for name, date, input, export. The names and dates of the inputs and export, there are names of people who you don't recognize. The export, you can see like a person's, you'll see input, name, and export Joseph Diego. Input, random name. Export Joseph Diego. Input, random name. Export Joseph Diego. And eventually the names stop. And the dates go back to 2020. Easily. Every roughly 15 to 20, every 15 to 20 years, there's another entry. Decades.
breaking out the phone again.
I mean, if it's a physical piece of paper, just take that bitch with you.
That's true. However, if we get shot at and it gets destroyed, I still want photos and videos of it. Because that can be recovered. So still, we're still taking the papers and shit. But still taking evidence.
Yeah, the handwriting, you actually wouldn't recognize this. No, never mind. It's Joseph Diego's handwriting for all of it. But you guys haven't seen his handwriting before, so I don't think you have a way to know that.
You're saying he's never sent out that cringy CEO shit where it's like, I don't know, they fake him having handwriting on a piece of paper that's obviously printed?
Oh, he's done mass letters, but he only signs them. He just types them. He doesn't care enough to even fake a writing a letter.
Well, I mean, there were the letters in the house. Yeah. Is it the same? Is that the same handwriting?
You're right. I just remembered. Ooh. You're right. You would recognize it.
Let's go.
You would immediately recognize that this is Joseph Diego's handwriting. He is writing down the names of people, and you see on every export, it's Joseph Diego's name. I will say there's one thing I forgot to mention. There's a couple of strangers, like people who don't mean anything to you, and then after like 4 or 5 names of people on input, you see like a serial number, like a series of numbers, and then you see another series of numbers. Kaya, roll me a science check at 2 purple. Lockhart, you can also attempt this if you like.
Sure. I mean, I'm assuming it's pretty recent. You said science?
Yep, science at 2. Unless you want to just hazard a guess, you could probably subvert the roll if you think you've got it. What do you think it is?
I'm assuming it's transferring from other clones.
Yes, it is exactly that. Kaya, you also learn this exactly. The serial numbers line up to the clones.
Something pod, something in the data she was looking at.
Yep. Math's mathin'. Okay.
And it's, to be clear, the dates go way back to the early 2000s. And every 10 to 15 years, there's a new entry, all the way up until the current year, which is 2088. But after 4 or 5 entries, there's no names on either side. There's no names on import or export.
But there was something that was transferred, I guess, even though there weren't names.
You'd probably be able to guess that at a certain point, Joseph Diego was the only one using this, and he stopped caring about what names were where. He just transferred himself.
Oh, okay. So,
hell yeah, I still remember it. It is 2088. The year is 2088.
It's above table here, and it's more towards Amy, because Kaya would be there to see this. But I can destroy this, right? I'm just saying.
Lockhart's been pretty clear that she was wanting to destroy this thing if she found it.
Yeah, no. I feel like after getting evidence and shit, I mean, Kaya'd be happy to help you.
I knew. The fucking machine is no good. And she's gonna walk right up to it and just yank at something.
Can you wait just like 2 minutes?
You go up and yank. It is. I mean, hey, if you're yanking or listening to Kaya, decide now because I'm going to give you an athletics roll at 3 purple.
She will put her hand on it, and she will say, 1 minute.
I'll take it. Let me just get enough evidence so that we can, put this douchebag to jail, and then I'll help you to shore this thing.
Wait patiently.
Guy's gonna fucking gather the evidence quickly as she can. Take video of the machine first, probably.
And you said athletics at 3 purple, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Can Kaya mechanically help?
Yeah, you can team up with Lockhart and provide a blue without having to roll, so that Lockhart can destroy it even better.
I feel like maybe Kaya takes as she's walking around filming it, she takes notice of all the weak points.
That's what I imagine Lockhart was doing too. Was like, okay, where can I strike to do critical damage?
Let's disconnect it from power before we start smashing a whole bunch so you don't electrocute yourself.
Yeah,
good point.
Don't worry.
Good point.
Kaya's on it.
Just fucking yank just yank it.
No. Kaya
See,
will...
you don't yank it from the wall. You yank it from the machine.
Yeah, no. Kaya will make sure it's safe before Lockhart goes yanking.
4 successes. Yeah, Kaya, you bend down. There are some
why
very
are all
heavy...
your shit private?
It shouldn't be private.
All your shit's been private.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Everything.
Oh, I'm sorry. I only did
your
1 private roll.
4 successes. For those of you who can't see, I can see all of it, so it works for me. But with 4 successes, you grab it, and there's a brief second where you're about to yank as hard as you can, and Kaya, you slide down on one knee, reach down and grab the heavy 1/4-inch thick power cable, and pop that out, and then Lockhart, You know the Ron Swanson grabbing his computer and throwing it in a dumpster? It's like that, but with 100 times more anger. Ripping it up, you just about throw it in one fell movement. How do you destroy this literally unique piece of technology in all of the universe? There is not another one of these, at least not yet.
The first part would be yanking the headpiece off. Pulling at that arm area where that would be. Second would be, I don't know, freaking kicking in some paneling or whatever.
The head cables, by the way, it looks something like Cerebro from X-Men, which if you haven't seen it, the helmet looks something like this, but the cables go behind the person and the metal helmet covers their eyes. Something like that, those cables like that with the headpiece that looks more like this. You grab it and fucking yank immediately the cables pop and fray and go loose. You have the head, you've removed the helmet, you have the body of the actual transference device.
Pop a panel open, gloved hand goes in, charge and pull at any cabling, anything inside there.
You grab it. It has never been easier to destroy. This is literally like a computer. You open up this tech and reach into the innards and guts of this incredibly advanced device. and you
Right.
pop off the glove, the whole thing, there is a bright flash, and the room, like, you're both blinded for a second, and it's the flash wears off, and you are staring at the destroyed corpse of the Hex Project. It's gone. And I think that is a good place to end it, because it is almost 11:30.
Mm-hmm.
But you've done it. You've destroyed the Hex Project. Single-handedly stopped the existence of immortals. Real-world immortals.
In theory.
Thumbs up.
In theory.
In theory, yeah.
For now. In theory, for now.